feeling? What am I feeling? I'm feeling a win, baby! Come on! I don't know what this feeling is. Feeling a win! Bears win for the first time in 347 days. October 24th, 22, that is gone. It is time for October 5th, 2023, the new latest date the Bears won a football game. They did it. Oh my gosh, they won. In Washington, they exact their revenge after the embarrassment of Thursday Night Football last season at home against the Commanders. They win 40-20 over the Washington Commanders on Thursday Night Football. Not only is the 14-game losing streak over, but the 14-game streak of the defense laying up 25-plus points is over. Done for. Gone. Oh my gosh. I don't know what this feeling is like. I don't know what it's like. Oh, it's so joyous to finally feel like joy watching this team instead of laughing at the misery and just actually genuinely feeling happy and excited. I haven't had that feeling in almost 350 days. I mean, if they didn't get through the game against Las Vegas without winning a game, it would have been a full calendar year. Holy cow. Am I just happy that they just were able to pull it out. Got a little scared, though. First drive of the game, Justin Fields looks great. First pass, he overshoots Mooney a little bit. I'm kind of looking at that pass. I'm like, he throws that DJ Moore as the catch. Or really, honestly, anyone who's taller than Mooney, Robinson, Claypool, would have been nice if he actually, cared, because, not like he would have really changed the outcome of this game. He actually maybe would have made it worse for us, because considering that's all he's done since he's got to Chicago is had us lose. This is the first time the Bears have won since Chase Claypool has officially been on their roster. And he wasn't playing. So, I don't know. Claypool would have caught it. Or at least he would have had a chance to catch it. Because he's taller than Mooney by a good couple inches. And that ball was just off of Mooney's fingertips. But 2 plays later, on third down, throws perfectly thrown ball right to DJ Moore, and he breaks off for a huge gain. Next third down, right after he takes a sack, finds him in the end zone, an absolute dart touchdown. And, there's that moment where you're like, oh, Fields still looks good. Fields still looks like he can throw the football. And then the defense gets a 3 and out to start the game. 3rd and inches, they stuff them. Their offense couldn't even get the line of scrimmage. Brian Robinson absolutely stuffed. And then the Bears go down and they kick a field goal. 10-0. I think it was 4th and 1, and they were inside the 20. I'm like, just kick the points. I mean, obviously we know the last time that they went for it on 4th and 1 and didn't take the points. I'm taking the points. That's exactly what they did. 10-0 lead. And then the craziest thing happens. The defense forces a second straight 3 and out. And they have an unbelievable start to the game. Ensuing Bears drive, they go down and score another touchdown. 17-0 Chicago. And the touchdown pass to Moore this time was even more beautiful. It was an unbelievable catch by DJ Moore in the corner of the end zone. And that's exactly why we went and got him in that trade for the first overall pick. Those catches for touchdown, those first 2 touchdown catches, are exactly why. And the big third down catch, they had a bunch of yak. DJ Moore had so many yards after catch in this game, it's ridiculous. Washington would then go down and kick a field goal. And, they're starting to kind of be a little bit more competitive. They put it together a good drive. They put 3 on the board. Bears go down, they kick a field goal, make it 20-3. Close to the 2-minute warning. Not quite at it, I don't think. I think it was a little after, actually. around the 2-minute warning. But the first play of the next Commanders drive, Sam Howell throws a pick. Oh my gosh. What is this actually happening? And it was a great play. Greg Stroman jumps the route at the last second, makes him think he's got him open. He's coming right, receiver's like right here, comes streaking in, jumps right in front, and picks it off. Perfectly timed. I think that's Stroman's second pick of the year. I think he got one, I forget against who, but it was kind of in like garbage time. Forget exactly which game it was. I don't know. But regardless, Stroman had a great play, and that's huge because it's not necessarily a backup, but it's a second string. It's not like the big names on our secondary getting that interception. And because we're still going into this game without Eddie Jackson, without Kyler Gordon, without Jalen Johnson. Jaquan Brisker was in again. He's our best player on the secondary in this game. At least going into it. And the Bears then go down and they score another touchdown. This time Fields connects with Kmet. And it's like 3 touchdowns for Fields again in the first half. Almost 200 yards passing again in the first half. And no picks again in the first half for Fields. He looked just as good. He looked really good again. Didn't look just as good against Denver. He only had 1 incompletion against Denver in that first half, so it's hard to beat that. Definitely looked more mortal in this game when it came to his completion percentage. But Kmet gets the touchdown, and it's 27-3 Bears going to the half. Are you kidding me? DJ Moore was targeted 5 times in the first half. Caught all the targets, 137 yards and 2 touchdowns to boot. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. DJ Moore showing out and showing why he was the big ticket player in that trade for the first overall pick. So it's 27-3. Bears have a 24-point lead going into the second half. Washington gets the ball to start the second half. And they go down and they score a touchdown. And they get the 2-point conversion. So it's 27-11. And keep in mind, 24 points, that is still 3 possessions. If you get a touchdown and the 2-point conversion on every touchdown catch, it is going to be a 3-possession game. And the Bears don't convert on their next drive. Every drive in the first half resulted in points. That was touchdown, field goal, touchdown, field goal, touchdown. 5 drives, all with points. First drive of the second half doesn't work out. And then they punt it back. And then that's really where the feelings of, oh God, here it comes. Because after what we saw against Denver, there was anyone who went into the second half thinking it was like 24-point lead, it's insurmountable, still a 3-possession game. They get that first step right. They go down, Bears hold them to a field goal. It's 27-14. Huge stop. Honestly, I don't know how Sam Howell gets out of this sack. Like 3-4 different sacks on the same play on a 3rd and 12 in field goal range. And he picks up 10 yards. Not only does he get out of the mess in the pocket, he then breaks a sack tackle, breaks a second one from someone in the secondary across the line of scrimmage, and is able to fight for 10 yards. So it's 4th and 2. And honestly, I was 100% ready for Ron Rivera to go for it. And if they were going to go for it, I knew they were going to get it. Because that's just how things have gone, especially with our defense. And it's just, they don't go for it, and they kick the field goal. And I was shocked. I was like, that's a terrible decision. You have 7 points. You are going to get 2 yards on this next play. I pretty much guarantee it if you draw up the right play. But they don't go for it. And now I'm thinking, okay, well, we're up 13. Let's go down and score. They don't score. Or no, they do score. They do. They score a field goal, get the game back up to 16 points. So it's 30-14, and we are into the fourth quarter now. Bears did not score in the third quarter. They couldn't move the ball offensively in the third quarter. I think Justin Fields had 1 completion in the third quarter to DJ Moore, which many people will argue that he did not step out. I don't think he did either. Am I, really salty about it? Not really, considering the fact that they won by 20. Didn't really matter in the long run, considering that, we still got points on that drive. But I think that was the only completion Fields had in that third quarter. So it's just like they kind of went straight to the run game. And the fourth quarter rolls around, they get the field goal, and Washington goes down the field, and they get into the end zone. They get into the end zone after 2 great pass breakups from the secondary. I think the second one more on the receiver. But third and goal, receivers open, touchdown Washington. Now they gotta go for 2. And it's like, son of a, it's one of those things. It's like, it's still only a 2-possession game. There's still like 10 minutes left. But after seeing what you saw just last week and how the team has played throughout the year, you're already just like, it's happening again. It's happening again. What do the Bears do with this opportunity? They go 3 and out. Second time in the second half, they went 3 and out and just give the ball back to Washington, basically giving them new life again. They start marching down the field, and then there's just this dread that I know what's going to happen. Despite the defense playing probably their best game of the season at that point, honestly, they did play their best game of the season. They forced 2 takeaways. I didn't even mention that the Bears got the ball on a fumble in the second half and proceeded to go 3 and out then. That was the first 3 and out. And so they failed to capitalize on one of the takeaways, got a touchdown with the other. And then they actually got to the quarterback in this game. They actually sacked Sam Howell multiple times. They had 1 sack, I think. I think they still had 1 sack on the entire season going into this game that they had against Green Bay in week 1. And they were able to get to the quarterback. 5 total sacks in the game. But it doesn't excuse the fact that Washington has the ball with time ticking away, 30-20, 6.5 minutes left to play. They score right now. There's still plenty of time for the defense to force a 3 and out or force a turnover or force a punt and get the ball back. Bears do good, and they force a field goal attempt. And leading up to this field goal attempt, my mind is just like, look, and I saw some of these players go down. I saw Edmonds go down. I saw I think it was Terrell Smith who got the fumble recovery. I think it was him, 32. I think that's his number. Honestly, I'm not like super familiar with the secondary because it's just ever changing. Someone in the secondary goes down, and I'm like, look, our defense is falling apart. We're getting injured. We're already going into the depth heavily, and we're still having people getting hurt. We cannot give Washington the ball back if they score here. We absolutely cannot, because I knew that they would let up whatever points they could to let Washington tie the game. Joey Sly goes up to attempt the field goal, and he misses it. He misses it wide right, and just the weight on my shoulders, the knot in my stomach, just dissipates, and I exhale, knowing that the chances of this team actually finishing a team and winning a football game for the first time in almost 350 days was imminent. And then what happens? The Bears are injured in the running back room. Herbert's questionable with, I think, an ankle injury it was in the game. Listed as questionable. Doesn't play after he goes out. Not to mention, Roschon Johnson already was declared out for the game. And Travis Homer, the third string, also got hurt. So we are resorting to Kari Blasingame, the fullback, to do the running, aside from Justin Fields. And it's 3rd and 2. Blasingame able to get a couple. It's 3rd and 2. I'm like, look, if you are so committed to the run game, I truly think maybe a play fake and a rollout, I think that is a good idea. So Fields can either have a receiver open or he can just try and run for the 2 yards. They pull it out and they throw a short pass to DJ Moore. A very tough throw. And this ball is on the money. You could not have played better defense. That Commanders defender played perfect coverage. Even got a bit of a hand on it. Got a tip of a finger on it. DJ Moore still catches it, shakes him off, and he's gone for a touchdown to end the game. Gone! 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 Bears are going to win this football game. DJ Moore takes it to the house and puts the game to rest. Finishes it. 0 chance Commanders come back from 17 points in the final 3 minutes. Commanders then 4 and out. Because they went for it on 4th down naturally because they had to. They sacked Howell one more time. Santos adds on an extra field goal to put 40 points on the board for the Chicago Bears of all teams on the road. And they double up the Commanders 40-22. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. They actually played the competent football team, and the defense came through. See what happens when you force takeaways and you're able to get to the quarterback, force negative plays. You look better. And they struggled still in the second half. They struggled, yes. But they pulled it together. And I'm really impressed. That secondary is battered. And McLaurin was a non-factor in this game, for the most part. Dotson was a non-factor in this game. The biggest threat was Curtis Samuel and Logan Thomas, and they had good games. It's just, finally, they're able to put it together and finish one. Justin Fields now improves to 6-24 as a starter. Doesn't really scream a good starter, but he looked so much better. Justin Fields, he had about a 50% completion percentage, 15 of 29, throws for 282 yards, almost averages 10 yards a pass, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Can't get much better than that. Probably more in the passing, game, and the only thing you probably ask him to improve on is improve that completion percentage, make it more similar to what he had against Denver. And yeah, that's probably it, because when it comes to the passing game, Fields and Moore's connection was absolutely on point. Moore over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he had pretty much almost every reception on this team. He had over half the catches on the team. 8 receptions, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns. Only 2 other players caught passes. and they were both tight ends. Cole Kmet had 5 receptions and had the touchdown catch, and then Robert Tonyan had 2 catches during the game. So I think the only thing going into this mini bye, I guess, is trying to get more receivers involved. Mooney was targeted 4 times, didn't have a catch. He probably should have. The 2 throws that I think Fields missed on the most were those 2 early throws that were intended for Mooney. The very first pass he threw, and there was another one where Mooney was wide open. It was too far away from him, and he couldn't make the catch. But outside of that, Fields was on it when he was throwing to DJ Moore, really. Because, yeah, I don't know. There's a couple. I mean, there were plenty of passes that got batted down, but there was not really a single pass that was like going to be picked off. Like, he was putting it in a position where the receivers could catch the ball for the most part, and that's exactly what you're looking for out of a passer. And Fields got involved in the run game as well. Had 11 rushes for 57 yards, second on the team, and they needed him. Roschon Johnson got hurt, had just a couple carries. Herbert had the bulk of the carries. He got about 75 yards rushing, and that's really like. Then you get to whoever was taking carries, and they finally put it together. I'm just so happy. So Eberflus saves his job. Now the Bears have a mini bye playing on Thursday, and they're playing the way they played. Great momentum going into the mini bye, and then you get the Vikings at home next week. Minnesota Vikings are struggling right now as well. They're 1-3. Lone win coming against the Carolina Panthers this past week, who now remains the only winless team in the NFL. This week, the Vikings have to play against the Kansas City Chiefs. Amazing! So this could potentially be a 1-4 versus 1-4 matchup next week. Bears-Vikings at Soldier Field. They will be at home again. Well, it hasn't been now a full calendar year since the Bears won a football game. It has been a full calendar year since the Bears won a home football game. Their 2 most recent wins, this one against Washington was on the road. Their last win last season was on the road against the New England Patriots. Their last home win was against the Houston Texans this past season. And that was week 3. This is week 5 now. So this is a chance for the Bears to have the mini bye to get their first home win in over a year and do it against a bitter division rival. But honestly, seeing how the secondary looks, hopefully we can have some of the injured guys get healthy throughout the mini bye. But if we can't, if Jackson, Johnson, or Gordon can't come back, it is going to be a really hard time because Brisker will have to be playing Justin Jefferson pretty much the entire game if the team has any semblance of stopping the passing game. So the secondary has a real test next week against the Minnesota Vikings and against Justin Jefferson, who, by the way, has only been in the league for a couple of years and has more receiving yards career-wise all time than any Bears receiver has ever had. Bears have only had one receiver to go over 5,000 yards in their career with the Bears. Absolutely wild. Bears will get their first division showdown since the Week 1 game against Green Bay. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe they can put something together, honestly. And, man, if the offense keeps playing like this and Fields keeps playing the way that he's played for the last 2 games, shoot, he might be a bit dangerous. But it is only 2 games, and these 2 defenses are in the bottom 10. I think the Vikings defense is also in the bottom 10. But this is exactly what Fields needs to boost his confidence. If he can play well against defenses in the bottom 10, then he can start playing better and kind of being able to read those defenses. Then he can start reading some of the better defenses, more the average packs, and then some of the better ones. Or at least that's the pace you'd think that what he would be able to make. But yeah, Vikings, Bears, next week. Fields has over 600 yards passing in the last 2 games, 8 touchdowns to 1 pick. Passer rating over 130 in 2 games. Phenomenal. This is the team that we expected and we were looking for in week 1 against Green Bay. Took them 4 weeks. Took them a bit to kind of understand what's going on. Took them to have some horrible stuff for us to get here. Game against Green Bay and Tampa. Offense looking absolutely terrible. Game against Kansas City, they can't do anything as expected. These last 2 games, though, offense has turned it around. And hopefully the defense can turn around a little new corner so that the offense will not have to continue to put up 30 points a game to even think about winning half of the games left on our schedule. Before I leave you all, I want to get a little bit serious because today marked the passing of Bears legend Dick Butkus. Dick Butkus is not only a legend in Chicago for what he's done on the field, but what he's been doing over the past decade in the tail end of his life with this organization. And regardless of how the team's playing, he's still just excited to be part of it and to be at the games and to talk with fans. And he's really become a great personality in Chicago and one of those former players that everyone loves to hear about. And that, to me, is why I probably will miss Dick Butkus the most about him. Because I didn't get a chance to see him play. And he was an absolute beast. Absolute legend on the field. But off the field, he seemed like an absolutely great guy. Always seemed like he was having fun, regardless if the team was dysfunctional or if they were succeeding. Mostly the former, considering especially over the last decade. And he's still there to show support for the team and the fans. And he was a special player and a special guy. And I think I can say this for everyone in Chicago. We are really going to miss Dick Butkus. We are really, really going to miss him. Rest in peace. And with that, hit that like button if you liked this reaction video. Because the Bears won! I know, it's amazing! Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more reaction videos. And I will see you guys next week.